Here, every traveler has a story. Rest here a while and let the adventure find you. Tonight, we walk beneath a canopy of whispering leaves, the hush of the forest stretching out around us. Up ahead, through the tangle of trees and mist, a glow stirs the darkness. A campfire, small and guarded. 4 strangers sit close to the flames, their shapes flickering in the light, their voices low but joyous. Take a moment, get comfortable. Let the quiet of your own room become the quiet of these woods. Let the soft crackle of firelight and the gentle hush of night fold around you like a well-worn cloak. And keep your D20 close, for soon you will step from the shadows and into their circle. Trust is not given lightly here, but if you earn it, a story will begin that no map or memory could ever hold. The sun has just slipped beneath the edge of the world. Not gone, just hidden. And in its place, twilight has settled like a hush. You step carefully beneath tall trees, their trunks like pillars in a forgotten temple. Leaves above shift and sigh with every breath of wind. There's a scent here, damp moss, old bark, and something else, something sweeter. The path you walk on is narrow, almost lost. A ribbon of soil carved between tangled roots and curling ferns. Not a trail many follow, not one you remember choosing, but your feet. They seem to know where they're going. Roll a survival check. 15. You've been walking long enough to read the signs. Bent grass, boot prints just barely pressed into the earth. And there, ashes caught in the breeze. Someone made a camp nearby. You hear the quiet crackle of fire before you see it, faint like a memory, and then laughter, warm and low. Not many voices, just a few. A soft hum, someone's tuning a stringed instrument. You catch the scent of tea, floral, earthy, comforting. Still, your heart skips, your breath slows. You pause beneath the arching bough of a tree, one hand resting gently on its bark. You're close now. Roll a stealth check to see how quietly you arrive. 7. A twig snaps under your boot. The voices hush, only for a second. Then one returns, calm and kind. Did you hear that? Another voice responds, clearer now. I think someone's just arrived. You step forward, slowly into the clearing, and the world seems to shift. The trees open, the fire glows, golden in the center. Figures sit around it, 3 of them. A 4th shape leans against a stone cloaked in silence. Their faces are lit by flame, their eyes soft, not surprised, as if they'd been expecting you. No weapons are drawn, no questions shouted, only a space made wide beside the fire. A steaming cup of tea poured without a word.
and the flicker of something new. There you are. You've been walking a while, haven't you? I could feel the rhythm of your footsteps in the earth. The trees mentioned you, whispered your name to the wind, or something like a name. Come, sit with us. No need to rush. The fire has plenty of warmth left. Would you like some tea? It's not much, just chamomile, valerian, and something wild I found living near the water's edge. Sweet, without sugar. Good for the nerves, even better for sleep. Make a nature check to identify the herb in the tea. 18. It's moon petal, a rare night blossom said to encourage vivid dreams and clarity within them. The cup is passed to you with both hands, fingers weathered but gentle. Kaelin smiles beneath a thick green-gray cloak, hair braided with tiny feathers and bits of bone, like a walking altar to the forest. I'm Kaelin, once of the gloaming vale, now just of the road, I suppose, like many of us. The forest still calls to me, though, always does. There are paths through the woods that only open at night, you know. Sometimes I find them, sometimes they find me, and sometimes they lead me straight to people like you. Make an insight check. 13. He's telling the truth, but there's something more beneath it, something he isn't saying, like a secret he's waiting to see if you deserve. Kaelin talks like a poem, doesn't he? Don't worry, he always makes sense about the second cup of tea. Only because you're always interrupting my metaphors, Saren. Now then, tell me, traveler, what did the trees say to you as you walked beneath them? Were they quiet? Did they hum? Did the wind pull you forward or try to keep you back? Roll a performance check to describe your journey through the forest. A natural 20. You speak in soft detail about a heron lifting from the stream, a moss-covered log like a bench left by the world itself, the hush that came just before you saw the fire. Kaelin listens with eyes half closed, nodding slowly. The flicker of the fire dances across his face. There's something in the way he hears your words, like he's not just listening, but learning from you. You have a good voice for the trees. Clear, but not sharp. Gentle, rooted. Make an insight check. 6. You're not sure if that's a compliment, or if he just says things like that to everyone. He said the same thing to a toad once. It didn't take it well. Toads are terribly self-conscious. Still, you've brought something here. Not just your voice, a kind of quiet weight. Don't be alarmed, it's a good thing. The forest carries songs and echoes, some louder than others. Yours hums. He leans closer, setting a hand near yours, not touching, but near. Tell me, what is it you're looking for out there in the dark between the trees, in the quiet that comes just before morning? Make a persuasion check to earn Kalen's trust. 15. You tell him, not everything, but enough, something true. He nods slowly, eyes warm, then, at last, he sits back, comfortable again. Then you're welcome at our fire. No questions asked. Not tonight. Stay as long as the coal burns, and when we move on, we'll see if the road wants us to keep walking together. The fire crackles again, while a jaunty man plucks a soft tune. Another figure in the distance hums faintly, watching the stars. The quiet settles over you like a blanket. And just like that, you don't feel alone anymore. You've been sitting near the fire for some time now, long enough for the heat to reach your fingers, long enough for Kalen's tea to loosen the edges of your thoughts. The warmth is kind, the silence kinder still. But one person hasn't said a word to you. She sits just beyond the firelight, close enough to feel the warmth, far enough that the shadows hold her shape.
You'll have to forgive Kasari. She speaks when the moment deserves it, or when she's feeling bold, which is rare, but memorable.
Kasari. The name hangs in the air like incense smoke, faint, fragrant, and deliberate. She shifts slightly, crossing her legs beneath her, with the slow grace of someone who could move faster if she wanted to. A tall woman, wiry in build. Dark gray cloth wraps her arms and chest, and a simple cord binds her hair high like a practiced ritual. She wears no armor, no weapons. Roll a perception check. 14. There's a faint gleam beneath the folds of her belt. 3 obsidian rings threaded on a cord. You don't recognize their purpose, but they feel intentional. Those rings have names, you know. She won't tell us what they are, but I've seen her whisper to them. Only one has a name, and it's not mine to give. Her voice is clear, calm, but there's something in the way she watches you, like a pool of water so still you can't see how deep it goes. She doesn't smile, but she isn't unfriendly, just focused. Why are you here? Roll an insight check. 10. It's hard to read her. She doesn't lean forward or press you for an answer. She's asking to learn, not to judge. You speak about your journey, your aimless wandering, or your purpose, or lack of it. You say what feels honest enough for the moment. She nods once, as if that satisfies some internal test. I walked the still water path for 7 years, 12 temples. None of them ever asked the right questions. So I left, and I stopped asking too. Now I listen. Roll a
history check. 19. You remember it, a fractured monastic tradition known for its emphasis on internal silence and physical discipline, but also its unorthodox schisms. Some branches claimed enlightenment, others claimed freedom from it. She won't say it, but she once broke a man's staff with just 2 fingers. She broke his jaw with the other 3. He was unkind to a child. That's enough reason. The fire crackles again. A thin wisp of smoke curls skyward. You notice her gaze tilt upward, following it. I left Stillwater with 3 vows: to carry no blade, to speak no lie, and to take no side before the world has spoken its truth. I break the last one more often than I mean to, but I keep trying. She looks to you again. Her eyes are strange, not hard, but not soft either. Steel wrapped in velvet. You don't need to impress me. You're already here, and here is not nothing. Make a persuasion check to earn her respect. 16. You offer something simple, a thought, a feeling, not a performance, but a truth. Her head dips in a slow, almost imperceptible nod, a gesture of approval, or something like it. You speak plainly. That's rare. Don't lose it. There's no grand welcome, no flourish, but when she shifts slightly, she leaves room on the log beside her, a place carved out of silence, and somehow that feels more like belonging than words ever could. A soft melody rises and falls, a fiddle being tuned and strummed idly. The firelight flickers more brightly now, and laughter hums like distant wind chimes. By now, the fire feels like a friend. Its heat curls around your boots. The tea is warm in your chest. The shadows have grown softer, less like voids, more like velvet. And there he is, cross-legged on a mossy stone, his fiddle balanced neatly in his lap, fingers tracing gentle patterns across the strings. Not a full song, just a meander of notes, like footsteps on a quiet trail. He hasn't said your name, but you feel like he knows it. You haven't said anything, but you feel like he's already heard it. So, what do you think of the fire? Too crackly? Too flickery? I was in charge of kindling. It's my first night on fire duty, and, well, no one's complained yet, so that feels promising. He gives you a crooked grin, mischievous but warm. His voice dances when he speaks, like someone who sings, even when he talks. You used your voice to coax the flames higher? Exactly. A little melody goes a long way. Besides, the wood wanted to burn. I just gave it permission. He strums a chord gently and lets it hang in the air. He's dressed in layered colors, greens and rust. the long scarf trailing behind him like a breeze that hasn't settled. One ear has 3 gold rings, the other has none. You wonder if it's a statement or an accident. My name's Saren, short for, well, it's just Saren. Names are like songs. You change them as you go until they fit the tune you're playing. He leans in slightly, resting his chin in his hand. What about you? What's your story? Or, at least your opening verse. Roll a performance check, as if you feel compelled to tell your story with a little flair to impress him. 11. You say enough to be interesting, if not dazzling. Still, he smiles like it was exactly what he had hoped for. Not bad. Not bad at all. The pacing's a little uneven, but the ending, beautifully unresolved. That's my favorite kind. Not everything needs to be a song, Saren. That's where you're wrong, monk. Everything is a song. Some people just don't know the chorus yet. He plays a new tune, just a few bars, soft and slow. It sounds like moonlight, like laughter overheard from another room, like something almost remembered. You don't ask what it's called. You know it doesn't have a name. I used to play in courts once. Big halls, velvet seats, people pretending not to cry into their wine glasses. But after a while, all that applause started sounding the same. So I left. And now I play for the moon and whoever else shows up. He glances at you with a sly smile. Looks like you showed up. Roll an insight check. 15. He's being playful, but there's sincerity beneath it. This camp, this group, it means something to him. He says that like he didn't make the rest of us cry with a song about a bread roll last week. It was an emotional roll. It had layers, like the bread. Art is pain, people. He laughs, and the fire dances brighter with him. There's something about Saren that makes the dark seem smaller, not because he pushes it away, but because he weaves light into it, a firefly in a jar that never goes out. He looks at you again, this time quietly. I'm glad you're here, not just because you seem decent, but because good company makes the road feel shorter. And the long road ahead, well, it always hums sweeter when there's harmony. He holds his fiddle loosely in his lap, fingers idling on the strings, not playing, just listening to you, to the fire, to the stars. And just like that, you feel part of something, not trapped, not beholden, just invited. And sometimes That's all it takes. The fire has settled now. No more crackling, just a steady hush and the occasional shift of embers. Owls in the distance. Someone sharpening a blade. The night stretches long, and the stars feel close enough to pluck. You notice her only after you've looked away. She's seated just beyond the circle of firelight, like a thought at the edge of dreaming. Her eyes are dark, not like shadow, but like polished glass, reflective, intent. Her horns curve back like waves caught mid-crest, adorned with a thin chain that sways when she shifts. Mira. She hasn't said much, and yet you already feel like she said something.
That's Mira. She won't tell you much at first, but if she starts a sentence, you'll probably remember it forever.
That's dramatic, even for you, Saren.
She's writing something, not furiously, not even focused exactly, more like tracing thoughts into the page as they pass through her. The book is thick, leather-bound, and visibly worn, like it's been places, like it's held secrets.
Are you composing one of your famous ominous letters again?
Just recording. Recording what, exactly? Tonight, the way it sounded, the way the flames moved when Saren laughed, the smell of old tea and new boots, things worth remembering.
Her voice is quieter than the others, not shy, deliberate, measured in a way that makes you lean in a little. She glances toward you once, and it feels like she's already read your story, like she turned the last page and folded the corner slightly.
You are not what I expected, but then most people aren't.
Roll an insight check. 6. You try to read her expression, but it's like watching fog and trying to find the shape of wind. Still, something about her draws you in. The quiet edge of her presence, the way she listens without trying to fix or change. She's not here to impress. She's here to know and be known, though she'd never admit it.
Do you believe in fate?
A pause. She looks at you again, not challenging, just curious. Roll either a persuasion or deception check, depending on how you'd like to answer her question. 14. You offer a thoughtful answer, honest but artfully vague. She watches you for a moment longer, then nods once, almost imperceptibly.
Most people give easy answers to that question. You didn't. That's good.
You don't know if she's complimenting you or warning you? Perhaps both. She asks that question once every 3 or 4 fires. I think she's looking for someone to disagree with her. Or agree, convincingly enough to make me doubt myself. There's a book beside her journal, one she hasn't opened yet. Its spine is marked with arcane script and a symbol that faintly hums in the firelight. She notices you looking and gently turns it over. Not to hide it, just to pause the conversation. It's not cursed. Not dangerously cursed, anyway.
That's the most comforting thing anyone said tonight.
Mira finally leans forward, just enough to let the light brush her features fully. She's striking, not because she wants to be, but because she doesn't seem to care whether you look or not. Whatever reason you're here, whatever path led you to this fire, you stepped onto something now. Not a prophecy, not a grand design, just a thread that's found a few others. Stay long enough, and it'll tangle. Stay longer, and it might braid. She closes the journal and ties it shut. Not like she's finished, just like she's decided that, for now, this moment is more important than the one after. She doesn't smile, but she looks softer, like maybe tonight she's glad to be known, even a little. I hope you don't snore, or if you do, make it rhythmic. I can write around rhythm. And just like that, Mira returns to her quiet, not dismissing you, inviting you into it. And for the first time, the silence feels shared. The fire has grown low, crackling softly like whispered conversation. Crickets chirp in the long grass. A distant owl hoots once. There's a chill on the edge of the breeze, the kind that makes cloaks tug tighter around the shoulders. The night has fallen completely now. The sky is wide and velvet, deep with stars. So many they seem to hum. The fire's light has settled, no longer flickering outward like conversation, but curling inward like a secret. Boots are being unlaced, bedrolls unfurled. The language of sleep begins. Small yawns, shared glances, the rustle of cloth and soft exhale of tired breath.
Stars above. It feels like we've walked 100 leagues today.
You didn't. I did. You got distracted by a squirrel and circled the same pine 3 times.
I was scouting. The pine had an aura.
Everything has an aura if you stare long enough. Even you, Pine Walker. Saren plucks one last gentle note and then places his fiddle beside him, wrapped in a woven cloth like a sleeping pet. He sighs into the stars. Mira finishes a final line in her journal before closing it with a quiet tie of twine. Kasari has already turned onto her side, breathing slow and steady as if in deep meditation.
It was a good fire. We'll have another tomorrow. New sparks, new wood, new shadows to chase.
There's comfort in the sound of shifting cloaks, of the soft thump of a bag turned into a pillow. You feel the earth beneath you, not hard or soft, but steady. The night wraps around your small circle like a quiet sentinel.
You staying up late again, Mira?
Just a little longer. The dark says more when no one's listening.
No one argues. Somehow it feels right. You lie back. The stars are impossibly clear. So many they seem to pulse in time with your breath. The fire gives one last snap, then settles into a warm red glow. You close your eyes. The voices have quieted, but something lingers in the air, the sense that something has begun. Not a thunderclap, not a prophecy, just a thread. Roll a Constitution saving throw against sleep. 2. You never stood a chance. Sleep takes you gently. No dreams, not yet. Only the scent of ash and pine, the warmth of strangers close enough now to call friends, and the hush of a world turning slowly beneath you. Somewhere, not far off, something watches, not with menace, but with interest. The stars blink once, as if in reply, and you drift into a dream.